Hey, everybody, welcome to Movies America Spoiler Warning. A special welcome to all my fellow movie maniacs. Yes, there's one of them right there, as always. And my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Do you feel a special Peter tingle, okay? Do you? Because you should, because I will be going over Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse tonight. Yes, as promised, and it's going to you're going to get very spoiled, okay, when it comes to the latest Spider-Man movie. All right, the time is past for having no spoilers revealed to you, okay? You've been warned, and if you still haven't seen the movie and you just heard me say that I'm going to spoil it for you and you just pissed yourself, this would be the time to leave this recording right now. So now I said recording because this week is a recording for Movies America Spoiler Warning. Not doing a live stream this week because I am going to be hanging out with the Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic crowd at their meetup in Dallas tomorrow night as of the recording of this. And I'm going to be there representing Movies America and Till Death Podcast Network, and rubbing elbows with some fellow content creators, okay? Like Ryan Cannell and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and Eric July, Young Ripa, and Gary Nerdrotic, Comics Division, all those guys, okay? And so, yeah, that's why yours truly is recording this episode for Across the Spider-Verse, okay? And but you know what? It's pretty much going to be the same show. It's just no live chat, nothing like that, okay? But the comments section right below this episode is obviously available to you. If you would comment, put a comment down there, put a question, whatever you want down there. I'll still see those, and I could still respond back to you there. Okay, we still got the lines of communication going on here. All right, I'm not giving you the cold shoulder. No, let's keep those lines of communication going here. Let's be in sync. Okay, communication wise, not the lame '90s band. Okay, so yeah, all right. So you know what? Let me give us something to dance to.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies America.
Oh yeah, rocking a sock. Stop your grinning and drop your linen. Okay, so let's get right into this Movies America Spoiler Warning episode for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse here. So, real quick, let me remind you, please like this episode, subscribe to this channel, okay, and hit that notification bell down there so you get notified of brand new Movies America Spoiler Warning episodes, okay, because I don't want you to miss out, all right? I want you to see all the hot, sizzling, piping hot Movies America Spoiler Warning action. Yeah, okay. I don't want you to miss that. I don't want to be the guy that makes you miss that, okay? So, yep, I don't want to be that. Damn. I know, I keep going on. Okay, so, all right. So, yeah, some points about this movie that I just wanted to bring to your attention, and maybe these occurred to you as well, is so, the main antagonist, or one of the main antagonists, one of the main villains in Across the Spider-Verse is, of course, the Spot, okay? And we first see the Spot. He's robbing the convenience store. He's trying to rob the ATM, the automatic teller machine, right? So Spider-Man, goes in there and stops him and that kind of thing. But then later on, we see the Spot again, and he just pops out of one of his spots into a universe where there's an Asian store owner there, And when the spot pops out of this, this spot, from this other universe right in front of this Asian store owner, she's like acting like it's not a big deal, like, okay, hey, some other customer walked in the front door, no big whoop, And that's an Asian store owner character from the Venom movies, with Tom Hardy and all that. And now the fact that this Asian store owner isn't shocked, isn't pissing her pants, and like, when this thing pops out of this hole, the fact that she's just like, oh well, it's going to be confusing to a lot of viewers if you haven't seen the Venom movies. Okay, now I've seen the first Venom movie, sucked. Haven't bothered watching the sequel because the first one sucked. Okay, and so if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen any of the Venom movies, again, like I said, you'd be like, what? Why isn't she screaming right now? Why isn't she ripping her hair out in shock? So and that's one thing that's occurred to me in this movie. Also, a burning question I had was, where the hell was Peter B. Parker's wife the whole time? Okay, the mother of his child. Where was she? Like, why was he always, walking around, always showing up with their baby? Okay. I'm all about, equal distribution of responsibility when you're raising kids and that kind of thing. But just kind of seemed like a gimmick in this movie to just have Peter B. Parker, dragging Mayday, I believe is the baby's character's name. Because I think the baby has powers as well, if I remember correctly from the movie and from comics. And so, but yeah, he's always like dragging the baby around, and he's married to Mary Jane Watson. Like, what is she doing? Like I could, it seems like you always see him with the baby. I could see like him with the baby some of the time. Like, hey, maybe that's his night to take care of the baby, and his wife, Mary Jane gets a little R&R, gets a lot of a little well-deserved rest. A little Calgon take me away time. But if I remember correctly, pretty much every single time you see Peter B. Parker, you see the baby. Okay, you see Mayday. And so, like, what, Mary Jane can't watch the baby? I mean, so yeah, another thing I was kind of wondering, but yeah, okay. And then now some of you might be wondering, and in case you haven't Googled it yet, you might be wondering, like, why does Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara, why does he and then others say that Miles Morales is an anomaly? And the reason that they say he's an anomaly is because they pretty much think that he should not have his powers. He should not have been bit by this spider, okay? And they say he's an anomaly because the spider he got bit by was not from his universe. It was actually from Universe 42 or World 42 or whatever, okay? And the only reason that the spider from this other universe of 42 was there in Miles Morales' universe, our universe, for lack of a better way of putting it, the only reason that spider was there is because in the first Spider-Verse movie, back in 2018, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Kingpin opened up that portal or whatever, and then all these creatures, including other spider people, right, like Spider Noir and Spider Ham and all that, entered into our universe from other universes. Well, this spider came from the Universe 42, and it came in and bit Peter Parker, or Miles Morales, okay? And so that's why they say Miles Morales is an anomaly, because, he shouldn't have ever, this spider should have never been in his universe to actually bite Miles Morales. And so then Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, gets his panties in a bunch and says, well, that's creating a deviation in the expected timeline, and then which makes, in his eyes, Miles Morales an anomaly right there. So, but if I was Miles Morales, like, you know what, hey, it happened to me. We're past that. It stopped dogging on me all the time. I got these spider powers. I might as well use them for good. All right, so back off, Spider-Man 2099. All right. So with that here, let me kind of break away here, and let's switch it up a little bit, okay? And I just want to let you know all about our tdpn.locals.com website there. And the tdpn.locals.com website, that is where we at the Till Death Podcast Network have all our amazing, fantastical content, okay? Just for you if you join, okay? And we have like videos and blogs and articles all about movies and entertainment, hot button issues, politics, like fantastic drink recipes, all of that there. And it's not just me, it's Ian and Sean, who are the other parts of the unholy trinity known as the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? And yeah, so I mean, in the content you see there, you are not going to see this anywhere else. Believe me. And you're going to know this when you're watching the videos and you're reading the articles and reading the blogs. You're going to be like, whoa, hey, honey, check this out, all right? You've never seen anything like this here before, honey. Get over here, you know, like, yeah, it'll knock your socks off, okay? And also, right now, we do have a Movies Merica Mad Libs promo that's going on right there. And so basically it's just gives you a chance to finish a script that I'm writing on there. Okay. So it's just a little fun thing. Remember Mad Libs back in the 80s and whatever, you know, you have the sentences and you put in your little words and all that to complete the Mad Lib, right? Okay. Well, we have a movie script version of that, okay, called Movies Merica Mad Libs. And basically how it works is I've created 3 characters and then I've put them in a certain location, which in this case, at least at the beginning here, is in this like Irish pub, okay? And they got 3 characters. And I've written the first few lines of the script. And then if you are a tdpn.locals.com member, you can get in there and you can write the next few lines of the script, or, you know, however many lines you want. 1 line per character, please, okay? And then me and Ian and Sean, we're gonna do a table read right here on this show, Movies Merica spoiler warning, down the road here shortly, and we're gonna have to play the characters, okay? So whatever you write, we gotta read, okay? And one of the characters, her name is Patsy Penicillin. She's a hairdresser / whore, okay? So that's the kind of characters we're dealing with. And one of us, maybe me, is going to have to play Patsy Penicillin, okay? And, you know, I'm going to have to, like, put on this whorish voice, you know, and try to act all slutty and that kind of thing. And it's going to be bad for me, hilarious for you, because I'm a terrible actor, okay? So I'll admit it. So, yeah, I mean, talk about a golden opportunity, all right? Your words coming out of our mouths, okay? And you can write as embarrassing stuff as you want, okay? So that is on tdpn.locals.com. And as you can see at the bottom there, if you put in promo code TDPN there at the website, you're going to get 1 free month, okay? 1 free month to get in there and add your lines to the Movies Merica Mad Libs, okay? Yeah, so go ahead and check that out there. It's got some all kinds of great content and that kind of thing, all right? So check it out. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, okay? And one other thing that was interesting to me was that I find it interesting that Miles' dad took the last name of his wife, okay? So his dad's actual last name is Davis, okay? Because in the first movie, Miles Morales' uncle's name was Aaron Davis. Okay, so that's his dad's brother. Okay, Aaron Davis. Also, then you would think that his dad's last name should be Davis, but his last name is Morales, and so that's why we have Miles Morales, not Miles Davis. Okay, there. So, and so the explanation that I've heard is that the Davis name, at least in this plot, in this movie, in this world, in Brooklyn or the Bronx, Aaron Davis has done some criminal shit, okay, and his family has done criminal shit, and so the Davis name, I guess, is synonymous with criminality, okay. But I'm like, well, the Davis name, the last name Davis is pretty common, okay. And just because your last name is Davis doesn't mean that you're going to be a criminal, right? But more to my first point, the name of Davis is pretty common. Now, if their last name was Rutabaga, okay, then I'd be like, okay, you got a point. Okay, Rutabaga is easy to remember. Not a whole lot of Rutabagas for last names right there. So I always thought that was kind of a weak reason why his dad, has the last name of Morales. Now it makes for better alliteration with Miles Morales' name, right? I mean, Miles Davis is catchy, but I'm sure they'd probably get sued by the Miles Davis estate and that kind of thing. Well, just make Miles' first name a different name. Okay, you could make it something catchier, like Dexter Davis or something like that. That's good alliteration, right? Dexter Davis instead of Miles Morales. All right, so hey, I just thought would it take me 1 second to think of that? Okay. All right, so in my spoiler-free review of this movie that I'm sure you watched, that I came out with last Sunday, in my reviews, I always like to mention, whether a movie is woke or not, so you're warned. Okay, so you have a warning, so that you can make the decision whether to play that into whether you go to see a movie or maybe you still go see it, but you know what to ignore or laugh at. Okay. And so, when I was going over, how woke is this movie, and if, and what are the woke points in there? I mentioned that there's a support trans kids poster in Gwen Stacy's room, and then Miles has a BLM sticker on his backpack. One thing that I missed was that there's a Black Lives Matter banner on a building I believe in Miles Morales' neighborhood. Okay. Totally missed that. Totally. Okay. But I also thought at least, they got closer to having the Black Lives Matter banner in the correct neighborhood. Okay. Because if there's any area that you should really drive home that point that Black Lives Matter the most, it's in black neighborhoods, minority neighborhoods, because if you read statistics, if you're one of those critical thinkers, okay, not just a critical drinker, but a critical thinker, you research, you find facts, you find figures, and it doesn't take you long to figure out that black men have a lot more to fear from other black men as far as being killed than white men and cops. Okay. Now I know that's not the narrative that CNN and MSNBC and the big three networks dish out. Okay. But ignore them. That they're just, they're just narrative peddlers. Do your own research. And you find out if I'm a black guy, I'm more afraid of that other black guy over there than, whitey cop over there. Okay. If I'm doing my research. Okay. So it makes sense that the most Black Lives Matter posters are hung up in black neighborhoods, are going to really, like I said, drive home that point that, hey, Black Lives Matter. So, hey, don't shoot each other. Okay. Okay. So I just thought that that was worth mentioning there. Absolutely. Okay. Now I also hear people mentioning Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as a Best Picture nominee. Like it should get nominated for Best Picture next year. Okay. All right, stop. Just stop with that, okay? It's a good movie, but it is not Oscar caliber, or it's not Best Picture caliber, okay? Best Animated Feature, by all means, be nominated. And hey, if I have to choose right now, unless I'm forgetting any kind of, animated movie that I'm just not thinking of, I would vote Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as Best Animated Feature. I would actually put it ahead of Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers is a little too. It's for young kids, right? So now because I have just because I have the maturity level of a young child, I am not a young child. Okay, so so I would think I like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think is my would be my favorite movie between those two right there. So so by all means, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, have it win Best Animated Feature at next year's Oscars. Okay, it would not be a slap in the face to me if it won that. But Best Picture, come on. Now, if they do nominate for Best Picture, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna piss my pants and what is he doing? I'm not gonna be that upset about it. So, whoa, that was some thunder right there. That was close. So hopefully the electricity doesn't go out while I'm doing this right here. Okay, so but of course, we have the bad thunder, the really, really bad thunderstorms while I'm trying to record this. Okay, because right now it sounds like a Garth Brooks song out there. Okay, but we'll keep plumbing along. We'll keep pushing forward, and hopefully you guys don't lose me to old man weather. Okay, so. All right, so hey, let's do a little let's just break it up a little bit, okay, with a little brew review time. All right, so tonight's lucky beer is Not Your Father's Root Beer, okay, and this is made by Small Town Brewery out of Wakanda, Illinois. No, not that Wakanda. Okay, this is Wakanda, Wauconda. Okay, so you may not know this, but Wakanda and Black Panther is not a real place. I know. Shocking. Very, very shocking. But yeah, so this is like a urban spice beer. And as you can tell by the title, it's like a root beer, right? But it's got booze in it, precisely like 5.4% alcohol by volume in this particular version of Not Your Father's Root Beer. But they actually have different versions of this with different alcohol, different levels of alcohol by volume in there. So I think they have like a 10.7% version of this right there. I couldn't find that because, like you would expect, that's the one I was trying to find, but I couldn't find one there. And even in this big old store that I go to shop for my beer in called Total Wine and More, I couldn't find the booziest version of Not Your Father's root beer. Okay, so all right, with that here, let me take a little tug off this bad boy. Ooh, sweet and sassy. Oh yeah, so. And yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like gimmicky, kind of novelty, beer. I wouldn't drink this all the time. Okay, so but yeah, it's good like at Christmas time or early June. When I think of Christmas time, I think of early June, right? So, yeah, it's not too sweet and it goes down smooth. It's not too syrupy, at least, according to me, it's not. So, yep, see, more thunder. I don't know if you guys hear that, but yeah, I got some good thunder. I should be like reviewing a Halloween, like a scary movie right now, the way it sounds here. But hopefully you guys can hear the thunder. That would enhance the review, all right? So, all right. So, hey, I think we've covered this, and it is time to move on. All right. Hey, thanks for sticking with me here with sticking with Spider-Man as we go through a few more points here about good old Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse. Now, I don't think that my favorite superhero movie will ever be an animated movie. And the reason that is just because making a live action live action superhero movie to me is just much more impressive. Okay. You got to go out to locations, you got to set up shots, you got to do stunts. If you might have practical effects that you have to do. I mean, I think even in like the most CGI heavy Marvel movies and DC movies and whatnot, they do have varying levels of practical effects. Okay, like practical explosions as opposed to a CGI explosion or a car crashing, that kind of thing. Okay, and if it's a Christopher Nolan superhero movie like the Dark Knight trilogy, he pretty much all he had was practical effects and had very little CGI. Like Harvey Dent's face in the Dark Knight, obviously that was CGI. But the helicopter crashing in the Dark Knight and the semi truck, flipping over, that was all practical effects. So because with a live action superhero movie, you have to go to those lengths, you have to put in that kind of effort where, a million different things could go wrong. it's much more impressive to me, and so that's why, and I appreciate that when it comes to gauging what kind of superhero movies are my favorites. Where with an animated movie, it's just people sitting at a desk. Okay, a bunch of people sitting at a desk, animating, using computer programs, that kind of thing. That's what it is for the most part, right? So I mean, as much as I like animated movies, I like these Spider-Verse movies, but yeah, they will never ever be my favorite superhero movies whatsoever. So and also the whole plot point in this movie of Miguel O'Hara trying to prevent chaos in the multiverse by preserving what's called canon events reads to me like it's pretty much like an allegory about people wanting the canon of IP to be preserved, and just kind of perceiving people that want the canon, the originality, the way that IP was originally written, whether it's a comic books, the way that an author originally wrote a comic book, or the way an author originally wrote a book, or somebody made a movie, they want that preserved. They respect the fact that this creator created this thing, and they created it a certain way because that's what they wanted, okay, for a certain reason. That's what they wanted, and they don't want it fucked with, okay? And this movie kind of shakes and wags a judgmental finger at him, like, hey, you know what, you shouldn't respect people's content. You shouldn't respect their creations. You should just let anybody and everybody just change it at their whim, at whatever point that they want. If they feel like changing Ariel and the Little Mermaid from the way that Ariel is portrayed in the book and make her a black girl, you should be able to do that. You should be able to just piss on the original author and their wishes as far as their creation, instead of actually going out and doing your own work and creating your own story and your own characters. We're just gonna we're gonna jump on we're gonna be squatters on your creation, and we're gonna do some race swapping, or we're gonna change the plot or that kind of thing. Okay. And there's a lot of people that don't like that, okay? And this movie is kind of like wagging the finger, like, no, okay, boomer, okay, I think giving like a disapproving perspective, and shining a disapproving light on those people that actually want the creation, from authors and film directors and whatnot to be respected. And so that's the perception that I get from that whole point right there. So I just thought that was kind of something on the nose there with this movie. And if that's what their intention is, I can't get behind that. That's something that's totally pretentious, and it's just lazy, and it's just a big fuck you to creators. I mean, because who's to say, in 20, 30, 40 years, they create something and someone's going to want to change up what they created, and if they were alive, and maybe they will be, they're going to be like, whoa, I wrote it that way for a reason. That's the way I want it. Okay. If you want to write a story where it goes that way, write your own damn story. Okay. And so, hey, you're changing someone's creation right now. Your creation very well down the road could be the creation that someone's changing there. Okay. So, I feel like I've been kind of griping a little too much about this movie, ironically, because it's a movie that I like. I do like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think it's a very, very good movie. So, let me give it some kudos, and these are some things that I mentioned here before on my spoiler-free review, but I thought the soundtrack of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was fantastic. Daniel Pemberton is the composer for this. He did the first one. He's going to do the third Spider-Verse movie next year, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So Daniel Pemberton is the composer again. And yeah, he's just got this really electric, eclectic soundtrack to this movie. I mean, it's never boring. It's always peppy. It's always just got this great raw energy to it. And it's very exciting It's in a word, I dug it. Okay, because it's got like some good bass riffs and some synth and some Latin flavor and that kind of thing, and of course the hip hop flavor there. And then I like the tracks in this movie, most of which involve the producer Metro Boomin, like some of the hip hop tracks and that kind of thing. Like with Lil Wayne and Nav and 21 Savage and 2 Chainz, Lil Wayne, I think I mentioned. So a lot of hip hop artists in here, ASAP Rocky, that kind of thing. And there's a couple of jams on the soundtrack that I really like. I like "Am I Dreaming" is like my favorite off of this, and I can't remember what scene in the movie that they played that in, but yeah, I definitely like "Am I Dreaming." And I like "Calling." "Calling's" a good track on the soundtrack. So it's the movie. The music alone is very good at setting these Spider-Verse movies apart from the other Spider IP, Spider-Man IP. Because you don't get music like this in the Tobey Maguire movies, Andrew Garfield, that kind of thing. Okay, so, and then also, I like the voice acting. I think was fantastic as well. Shameik Moore as Miles Morales. He's got that great voice, that perfect voice for Miles Morales. Again, who's a character that I like. Miles Morales is a very endearing, affable character. And a character that you can root for. Definitely he's a friendly guy. And then same with Gwen Stacy and that kind of thing. So fantastic characters. And it's just they've got it fantastically in this movie. And so someone asked me if I like this movie. Of course, I'm going to be. So totally. And so I just wanted to throw a couple of positives about this movie, okay? And but it's good to ask questions, right? It's good to like think about movies enough to where you come up with these questions like I have and these points that I came up with. And you know what? Hey, if you've got your own points about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I love to hear about them, okay? So put them in the comments down below, and I want to read them and respond back to you about them, okay? And because I don't just listen to myself, right? I don't just want to know about my own points and overview and opinions about this. And also in the comments, I might have said something tonight that I need correction on or clarification on, that kind of thing. And that's another reason that the comments are fantastic. Okay. All right. So hey, let's break it up again a little bit with me letting you know all about this great product I like to call Nature Clear. Yes, Nature Clear recovery powder, to be more specific. And Nature Clear recovery powder, what is it? Well, it's a recovery powder that you can take mixed in with some water, okay? And you can take it before you go out and you go to that Spidey party, that Peter Tingle is telling you to go out to someone's party there. Maybe you're dressed up as Spider-Man. Who knows? But you're going to get your booze on. You're going to do a little drinking. And you don't want to deal, you don't want to fall into the web of a hangover, the next morning, okay? And so you could take yourself a little Nature Clear, okay? As you can see, it comes in this little pouch right there. And you just put this, just dump this pouch in like 12 ounces of water or a bottle of water, whatever, And, like Sean here in the Till Death Podcast Network, he says that he also, in addition to the Nature Clear, he'll throw in like some lemonade Mio in the water is too to make it taste even better. And you just down that before you hit the clubs, and you'd be good to go. You can drink all the not your father's root beers that you want, okay? All the shots you want, all the Maker's Mark, whatever, okay? And you don't have to worry about having a hangover because you were prepared, okay? Like they say, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. But that doesn't apply to you because you took your Nature Clear, right? Okay. But if you happen to be out and you're chugging some Nature Clear, some Maker's Mark or something like that, some Woodford Reserve, and you're like, oh man, I've drank too much already, and oh my god, I forgot to take my Nature Clear. Have no fear. Just grab your Nature Clear when you get home and chug that when you get home, and you're good to go that way. Okay, so it's like Nature Clear was thinking ahead. Okay, I know. It's geniuses, I tell you. Geniuses, okay? And also, it helps you recover from smoking and vaping as well. So this is an all-around Swiss Army knife of recovery, okay? So by now, I'm sure you're screaming, how do I get this fantastic product there, Van? Okay, well, hey, I will indulge you. You just have to go to the link in the description down below, and that will take you to the Nature Clear website, and then just pick out the Nature Clear product that you want and just get it in the cart. And then you just have to enter in promo code MOVIES in the promo code field in the carts, okay? And you're going to get up to 25% off your next order of said Nature Clear. So definitely hook yourself up, okay? Do yourself a favor and, yeah, get yourself some Nature Clear, okay? So, because, yeah, like I said, what failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So do it. All right. Okay. So, hey, let me, let's get into another segment that I like to include in every Movies America spoiler warning episode. Okay. And it's just my chance to pay homage. I don't know how you pronounce it. Tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. Homage we're going to go with tonight. This is my way to pay homage to our brave men and women in the military, okay? But in a movie-related way, okay? And I call this segment the movie military moment, okay? Because as you would imagine, in order to win a Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's the citation that I'm keying in on, because the Congressional Medal of Honor, it involves all the branches of the armed forces. It's not like the Navy Cross, where it's just the Navy, I believe. The Congressional Medal of Honor involves all branches of our armed forces. And so, yeah, so with every Medal of Honor winner, as you'd imagine, what they had to do to win the Medal of Honor must have been, most likely it's like a very explosive, eye-popping moment, right? So a moment that would be very cool to catch in a movie, okay? And maybe cool is not the right word, but it would definitely be intriguing and an experience for the old eyeballs, okay? And so, yeah, so as part of the movie military moment, I just want to just read the citation of one of our valiant military members, and just let you guys know what they did, what their movie military moment was. But before we get going here, let me take a little drinky here, so I not get too parched. That's good stuff. Very good stuff. Okay. All right. So, hey, with any segment here, with any self-respecting segment, I'm going to have some good music with that. Okay. So let's cue the movie military moment theme. All right. Tonight's prestigious Congressional Medal of Honor winner is one Charles Jean Abrell, and he was a corporal in the Marines in the Korean War, okay? So, for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while serving as a fire team leader in Company E in action against enemy aggressor forces, while advancing with his platoon in an attack against well-concealed and heavily fortified enemy hill positions, Corporal Abrell voluntarily rushed forward through the assaulting squad, which was pinned down by a hail of intense and accurate automatic weapons fire from a hostile bunker situated on commanding ground. Although previously wounded by enemy hand grenade fragments, he proceeded to carry out a bold single-handed attack against the bunker, exhorting his comrades to follow him, basically come on guys, let's go, okay? And sustaining 2 additional wounds as he stormed towards the emplacement, he resolutely pulled the pin from a grenade, clutched in his hand, and hurled himself bodily into the bunker with the live missile still in his grasp. Fatally wounded in the resulting explosion, which killed the entire enemy gun crew within the stronghold, Corporal Abrell, by his valiant spirit of self-sacrifice, in the face of certain death, served to inspire all his comrades and contributed directly to the success of his platoon in attaining its objective. His superb courage and heroic initiative sustained and enhanced the highest traditions of the U.S. Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country. Yes, that is Corporal Charles Jean Abrell, corporal in the Marines during the Korean War, and that is tonight's Congressional Medal of Honor winner here, or recipient, I should say, with our movie military moments. So just pause a moment for Corporal Abrell. All right. Thank you. And let's wrap that up. All right. Okay. So, hey, let's move on with the show. Okay. So let's check out here, see what we got for anything here. All right. So, yeah, as you can tell here, and as I said in my spoiler-free review, I would definitely go and check out, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's kicking butt at the box office right now. As it should. It's actually kicking the crap out of The Little Mermaid. Okay, and it's also, I believe, like over in some Asian countries. I forget what Asian countries Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has been released in, but yeah, it's doing some great overseas numbers in addition to the domestic numbers. Okay, so, and I look forward to the third movie, which is coming out March of next year. So, provided we don't have another pandemic or something. But I think they're still filming Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is the movie next year that they are going to come out with here. So that'll be fantastic. Now, of course, we have the cliffhanger that we ended up with that actually has got a lot of people all butthurt with how they ended this movie with a cliffhanger. This movie was like a part one, a part two. Okay. Now, the only thing that I will say in their defense is that this movie could have done a better job at advertising that it's a part one of a two-part movie series. I don't know how you do that. I guess maybe you call it Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse or part one or whatever. Spider-Man part one Across the Spider-Verse, something like that, right? Or put up a blurb at the beginning of the movie that this is part one of part two, something like that. But that's the only thing that I'm going to give the people that are whining and bitching about it being a part one. Have you never heard of a cliffhanger? I mean, unless you were born yesterday, there are these things called cliffhangers. You have them in movies and comic books and that kind of thing. They've been around for decades, okay? But I think that we live in this, I got to have it right now. You can cook yourself up a whole chicken in 37 seconds now. I mean, if you want something, you get it right now, right? Just drive through your windows and, you order things off of Amazon and it arrives at your door 8 seconds later. I mean, people just have this, I got to have it now and I demand to have it right now kind of mentality. And so people just don't want to have to wait for the part two, And so I've heard a lot of that. And, to them, I'm like, grow the fuck up. If that's the worst problem in your life, okay, get over yourself, okay. Like they always say, like, leave them wanting more, right? That's exactly what this movie did, okay. Just relax, okay, relax, and get a hobby, okay. All right. Well, hey, let's start wrapping this bad boy up here. Okay, we're going to wrap it up and kind of make this a shorter one. So let me tell you all about the fact that I've got this www.moviesmerica.com website out here. And this is where you can find the audio-only versions of my spoiler-free reviews that I come out with on Sundays, okay? So if you have, if you don't feel like seeing this mug, while you're, listening or, to the spoiler-free reviews, and you just want to see the audio only, and I guess this is just too jarring and traumatic for you while you're watching or listening to the spoiler-free reviews, you can just listen to the audio-only version of my spoiler-free reviews at www.moviesmerica.com. But you can also listen to the audio-only podcast of them on like Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, any place basically you just imagine that you would find podcasts. Okay, and if you listen to the episodes on those, please give it a 5-star rating, and also you can subscribe on there too, so that you get like brand new episodes downloaded. Okay, you can subscribe or follow there for that. Okay, and then I'm on the socials. Yes, I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And on Twitter and Instagram, my handle is @MoviesMerica. Okay, you can check me out there with my posts and that kind of thing. And then also on Twitter, you're gonna get links out there with to this show, Movies America Spoiler Warning, every Thursday. Good, easy to click links to this show to join this right there. Otherwise, if you want to find this show, you can just go to Rumble or YouTube and just type in Movies America. And then on Thursday, when this show was typically on, you'll see the link there as well. And then Instagram, I put posts out there too, pictures and that kind of thing. All right, for you to laugh and shake your head at, like, oh God, Van, God, when are you gonna stop, man, putting these stupid bumps out here? You know, okay. And again, like I said, I'm on Facebook too under Movies America, of course. Okay. And then also, I told you about tdpn.locals.com. Go out there and check out our fantastic content. Okay. And then also, let me tell you all about solo.to/till-death-pod network, okay, or at till-death network or there. So, and basically what this is this is just a location that lists all the links that have anything to do with Till Death Podcast Network, like a one-stop shop for all the links that you can find that involve the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? So if you don't want to hunt and peck all over Al Gore's worldwide interweb, and you just want a one-stop shop to find all the links, this is where you go right here, okay? And next we have solo.to/till-death studios. And so as you can see, we've got like the background here, my Movies America background. You've got the overlay at the top that has the @Movies America, my logo, and the tdpn.locals.com, or the intro that you watched earlier, okay? If you want something like that created for you, you're going to start your own YouTube or Rumble show or whatever you want. You're a content creator, and you really want that kind of those kind of things created for your endeavors, for your creation. Yeah, just go to solo.to/till-death studios, and Ian is going to hook you up. Okay, let his talent work for you. Okay, because he comes up with these fantastic designs and intros, and yeah, he'll hook you up. So yeah, check that out. All right. And then we have solo.to/I'm Sean Cav, and that's where you can find all the links involved for Sean. Sean here on the Till Death Podcast Network, and he does the Sippin' with Sean show every Friday afternoon that you can find, and he talks about drink recipes and talks about current events and that kind of thing. Like a very entertaining show that comes out every other Friday on Friday afternoons. Okay. And yeah, you can go to solo.to/I'm Sean Cav to find the link for that and other links that Sean has provided for you. Okay, moving on. Solo.to/The Whiskey Capitalist. And that's the links that have to do with Sean and Ian's show that they do on Monday and Wednesday nights called the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast. And that's all the links involved with the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast. Okay, so again, they don't want you to hunt and peck all over Al Gore's worldwide interweb, okay? Trying to make life easy for you, okay? So definitely check that show out on Monday and Wednesday nights, the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast, okay? All right. And moving on here, solo.to/till-death podcast. So this is where you find all the links involved with the Till Death Podcast that Ian and his lovely bride, Jen, do, I believe, every other Saturday afternoon for me in the Central Time Zone and Eastern. So I think it's pretty much, the afternoon for pretty much everybody, I guess, nationwide at some point. And that's just called the Till Death Podcast Network every other Saturday, okay? Now, if you don't want to have to guess what time that show comes on, yeah, go to solo.to/till-death podcast, and you'll find a link with all the specific time information for that show. Okay, all right. So moving on. All right, so let's get up here and let's get ready to put a button on this show right here. What do you say? Okay, and so yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode from moi, Van Ebert, or as you see there, the well, you know what? Here, let me get rid of that. Yeah, there, as you see, Spider Van here. Okay, hopefully you've enjoyed the show here tonight. And as I always say, hey, people, get out there. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Hey, everybody, don't leave yet. Okay? Hey, I got just enough time. I got the police after me, okay? And, oh man, they're gonna get me at any time. I got just enough time to ask you to like this video and also subscribe to this channel if you would, man. You'd be doing me a big favor, okay? And please make sure to like these videos or watch them and then like them, okay? That'd be great. And again, thanks for watching, okay? And subscribe to the Till Death Podcast Network and Movies Merica. I gotta go.